One of the biggest mysteries in Halo Infinite's campaign is how the Endless, a species new to the Halo universe, managed to survive the firing of the Halo array. Halo targets all sentient life, and even the Forerunners were baffled when the weapon was ineffective on the Endless.
If Halo cannot end them, it must imprison them.
Now, there are many theories going around. Some say the Endless can skip through time. Installation 00 pioneered a theory that the Endless detected a superluminal echo of the array when it was fired, and they simply skipped to the future to a time in which the array's effects had moved past their world. Some say the Endless are an evolutionary branch of precursors that evolved to resist the effects of the Halo array. With the Harbinger essentially quoting the Gravemind and the Primordial being known as the Timeless One, this theory is intriguing as well. Other people think the Endless are nanite beings, or some sort of AI construct. Some even think they're, yeah. The point is, with all these theories, they do provide some answers. Unfortunately, most of these theories simply pose new questions, requiring even more assumptions to work. If the Endless can skip through time, what stopped them from avoiding capture and imprisonment by the Forerunners? If the Endless are precursors, how were they previously uncatalogued? And how are they supposedly a single-planet species despite their advanced abilities? If their technology is what allowed them to time travel, then why would the Forerunners be studying their biology instead? Well, I've got a new theory to share, and I think it provides more answers than questions. Perhaps the Endless are called the Endless for a reason. Clearly, with the Harbinger being endless, judging by her liberal use of we when referencing the Endless, they do end if you shoot them in the face a lot. So, what if the Endless are called Endless not because they can't be killed, but because they simply do not age? Not because they can skip through time, but because their organic building blocks do not succumb to the process of aging. Obviously, this explains the name, but if the Endless can die from bullets to the face, why don't they die to the Halo array? Upon doing some imaginary archaeology, I dug deep, and I think I've found the answer. Perhaps we've been looking at Halo wrong this entire time. What if Halo isn't just some ray gun, but instead a reverse time lock? I theorized that these rings are reverse time locks in a recent video with tons of cool connections supporting it. Perhaps a Halo ring is the same technology but on a massive scale. Now to paint this theory, we have to cover a couple of things beforehand. First, what is a reverse time lock? Well, if you've missed my recent videos, I'll try to summarize it here for you. A reverse time lock is a form of execution. It's a Forerunner technology that effectively increases the rate of entropy, capable of artificially aging someone a billion years, despite the whole process only taking just a few moments. Ideally, if the Endless do not age, artificially aging them will have no effect. And down the rabbit hole we go. Scientifically, the process of aging is generally attributed as being the buildup of noise and miscommunication within your body's epigenome as it attempts to make temporary repairs over time. For the dum-dums out there like myself, I have some analogies that'll help us along the way. Like a vehicle, you can replace broken parts with pristine parts from a different type of vehicle. But as time goes on, the car you have will not be compatible even with itself, and will cease to run. It's sort of an analogy for most of the various theories I mentioned at the beginning of this video. If you routinely patch holes in your theories with wildcards, your entire theory will eventually become a wildcard. A logical jerry-rig that answers the questions you want answered but isn't compatible with the logic that's been established in the Halo universe thus far. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean any given theory is wrong, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Perhaps that's the case with my theory as well, but using our broken clock, only time will tell. To continue the painting of our theory, the last thing we need to do is cover how the Halo array targets and eliminates a species. The description available to us is actually quite detailed, if not complicated, so bear with me. I'll be explaining the science behind the Halo array in more depth than most YouTube channels ever have, but after I'll explain it in layman's terms. So, Halo rings release a burst of cross-phased supermassive neutrinos, a variation of these guys. The burst possesses a harmonic frequency which can be tuned to destroy the nervous system of any given species. Now I'll admit, from my understanding of theoretical particle physics, cross-phase supermassive neutrinos sounds like nonsense. Neutrinos have extremely low mass and are only really stable when they're representing a flavor of really low mass. They can travel through the entire Earth unimpeded. Hell, they can travel through a lead wall around a light year thick before they interact with the lead wall via the weak force. As far as affecting humans, billions of neutrinos travel through your body every second, none of which are really likely to interact. The author who described the physics of Halo probably deemed the neutrinos as supermassive to deter the lack of effect that neutrinos generally have due in part to their low mass. Though it doesn't really quite explain the main lack of interaction due to neutrinos only interacting via the weak fundamental force. Now that's just science talk saying he made neutrinos behave like a baseball being thrown in a rainstorm rather than a bullet in a rainstorm, whereas the baseball would run into more raindrops naturally. The author's use of cross-phase likely originates from the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. In quantum mechanics, that stands as a basis for quantum tunneling, which is the popular concept in science fiction that seemingly allows superluminal travel of a particle. Now that's science talk saying he added cross-phase to the description of the halo effect to justify how it moves faster than the speed of light. Lastly, the author's use of harmonic frequency likely refers to resonant vibrations. The input frequency of the halo effect and the frequency of vibration in the targeted nervous system interfere, essentially shaking the nervous system apart. Now that part is applicable science that needs to be accounted for when building architecture like bridges, as the interference of people walking on the bridge can match the natural resonance of the bridge itself, causing the bridge to wobble and even collapse. As opposed to a bridge resonating with the people walking on it, the halo effect is your nervous system resonating with these neutrinos. Oof, we made it. We're safe from the science. At least for now. In layman's terms, the nervous systems of all beings are targeted by the halos and destroyed. This phenomenon leads many to think that the Endless don't have a nervous system at all. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think these cross-phase supermassive neutrinos from the halo array destroy the nervous system by attacking it. I think they destroy the nervous system by artificially aging it. For example, a leading contender for what causes aging is cosmic rays doing damage to your epigenome as they pass through your body. Again, normal neutrinos do not do this, but cross-phase supermassive neutrinos that are finely tuned to only interact with the nervous system? That almost seems intentional. And according to the lore that we have, the halo effect combined with solute, a forerunner substance, can decay a being entirely into its component molecules. Now this is very important to the claim that the halo array is a reverse time lock that artificially ages its victims, as we have a detailed account of the use of a reverse time lock. The execution of the primordial via the artificially induced passing of 1 billion years. Observe the halo effect and take a listen to the harrowing similarities that they share with the reverse time lock effect. The misty blue light seemed to vibrate. The primordial decayed from within. Limb after limb fell away, puffing out a much larger dusty cloud. One leg separated, shooting out a cloud of fine dust. The dust became finer and finer, and then everything stopped. And there's even more connections to be made. Before the construction of the halo array, there were prototype halos. These ring-shaped devices were only 10 meters across. Using Master Chief as scale and accounting for these artifacts being buried partially into the ground, they look to be 10 meters in diameter. If these artifacts are in fact reverse time locks as I've theorized in previous videos, then that's even more supporting evidence that the large-scale halos are reverse time locks as well. So, the theory is, biologically, the Endless are a species who do not age. The halo array targets sentient life and uses reverse time lock technology, which increases the rate of entropy to artificially age an organism on a massive scale. But, because the Endless do not age, they are unaffected as if they were never targeted to begin with. This theory explains the name Endless. It explains why the halo array has no effect on the Endless. It correlates reverse time locks with the halo effect for the first time and provides literary and visual connections to substantiate the claim. As far as I'm aware, the theory doesn't seem to conflict with known lore retroactively and even strengthens other theories I have. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more deep dives and theories, subscribe and check out my Halo Mysteries playlist in the description. If you want to share your own theories about the Endless or other theories entirely, join my Discord. It's in the description as well. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.